Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. We really appreciate your time. Know you got a lot of things that you could be doing, so this webinar is going to, and I'm putting pressure on Molly, but we've already talked, probably be about 25 minutes or so, and I know there's time for questions. You can put them in your chat, I believe, Jason, or the Q&A, and then Molly will either address them as we go or at the end of the time. So we do have Molly from SILAC with us today. She's a regional vice president. She has been wonderful to work with for us personally here at New Horizons Marketing. Just helpful to the nth degree. Whenever we come into any kind of obstacle, she is on the spot and some of her team on the spot to really help us navigate. And that's what been the theme with SILAC in general. We've had a tremendous experience with them. Obviously, you all know we're independent, but SILAC has for sure been our go-to with FIAs for the past probably 3 years, I would say. And a lot of it's due to product, which she's going to talk a lot about today. But for me, it's about the people and who they are and what they do. I've been privileged to be on some of the back scenes of how they develop these products and how much they listen to agents in sculpturing and designing their products to tweak them to make them better, some give and take to make sure they're solid for not only present day, but for the future. So they keep your clients in mind. They keep you in mind when they do everything. And I mean, their service has been stellar. So without further ado, please welcome Molly with SILAC.
Thanks, Kirk. I don't think I could have said any of that better myself. Thanks, everyone, for joining this morning. Again, my name is Molly McEwin. I am the Regional Vice President of Sales here at SILAC, and I support your New Horizons group. I did come from the IMO side originally, so I know who is working the hardest, and I am New Horizons' biggest advocate. It is my goal to make sure that the business that you guys entrust in us gets placed quickly and efficiently. And if there's ever anything that you're needing as advisors, whether it's service support, sales questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Kirk. He knows he can access me anytime, and I'm always happy to jump in. With that, we are going to talk about some recent product enhancements that we made. We launched, or realigned rather, and relaunched some products May 30th. So we made a few changes to our lineup, really narrowed down the focus of what our FIAs are targeted to accomplish. Teton is our flagship FIA. This was the first product that SILAC launched back in 2017, 2018, when we got into the FIA space. Primarily, it is accumulation focused, right? It's got early liquidity riders if you have a policyholder that wants to access their premium, if you're looking for strong caps and par rates. Very simple product. No large bells or whistles. It's really focused on principal protection and growth. And then Denali stands on the shoulders of Teton, right? Denali was the second accumulation-focused FIA that we launched. And it had a unique liquidity rider originally. It had a built-in income rider that accessed income off that account value. At the time, we added that income rider on because we wanted to get into the income space. We weren't yet prepared to offer a stacking or a guaranteed income rider, so we kind of tagged that income rider on to Denali. And so for a long time, you could sell it for either income or accumulation. From a suitability perspective, it was acceptable to position it either way. And Denali is one of the products that we made a big change to that I'll talk a bit about. But next up, we have our Elevation and Elevation Plus riders. So with Teton and Denali, our accumulation-focused products, we knew accessibility was really important. We got a lot of feedback from the field, from our inner circle and our Ember advisors, that policyholders really needed more access to their account value during times of need. So we developed some unique liquidity options with that Elevation Plus that include a premium bonus to enhance that account value from the get-go, and some unique liquidity options so you could access that premium when you needed it most. Now, the big change we made with Denali, we removed that built-in income rider. We were prepared in the last year when we launched Evolve. That is our stacking income rider. We were prepared at that point to allow Denali to be a standalone accumulation-focused FIA. And with this realignment, we have launched Evolve. We really pulled that income rider off of Denali. So Denali is just accumulation only now, just like Teton. And we now have a stacking income rider with Evolve. So Evolve is now a standalone FIA in the SILAC FIA portfolio. And I'll deep dive that in just a moment. And then last but not least, our Vega product. Vega is that unique FIA that has the income rider attached. It has unique roll-up features. So we're really growing that benefit value in hopes that your policyholder who's focused maybe on enhanced death benefit or wealth transfer, they're really looking at Vega for that roll-up on that benefit value. It absolutely can be used for lifetime income, but feedback from the field is 7 or 10 years is a long time to wait for lifetime income. It's got great multipliers and it's growing that benefit value exponentially as compared to your account value. But statistically, people are activating income riders within the first 2 to 3 years of issue, if not immediately. So we're looking at that deferral period. We're looking at maybe an earlier deferral period. So wealth transfer, that enhanced death benefit with no charge, Vega's your girl. So I'm going to step into our accumulation-focused FIAs and really break down Teton and Denali for you. Teton and Denali at this point are almost identical products, principal protection and accumulation. They both have access to our Elevation Plus riders. And what those riders give you are additional premium bonus. They give you cumulative withdrawals. So if your policyholder doesn't use their free withdrawal in year 2, it'll roll over to the next year. And also enhanced liquidity. So Teton and Denali, almost identical products. Denali is unique in that it has the highest caps and participation rates of any FIA on the SILAC product portfolio. And that's because it has a unique feature called interest or bonus recapture. And this is sort of tied into your surrender charge schedule. So Denali has those higher caps and par rates, but it also has an interest or bonus clawback, you could think of it. So if your policyholder surrenders their Denali contract, they're going to incur an MVA if that's applicable by state. They'll incur that surrender charge naturally. And then we have that interest or bonus recapture. And really in policy year 1, it's 100% interest recapture or 100% bonus recapture if you're in that Denali bonus feature. That's the way we're able to allow Denali to have higher caps and participation rates without forcing your policyholder to have a fee drafting off of their account value every year. It's sort of, we get it on the back end if they surrender their policy early, if they take an excess free withdrawal, right? Something outside of their available free withdrawal amount. So premium bonuses are a big focus on the realignments that we made. With our Denali and Teton contracts, we have strong premium bonuses as it is. With this realignment, with the adjustments that we made, we really put the juice into those upfront premium bonuses. Now, Teton has a 5-year surrender period product, which is very unique now. I know shorter surrender periods with strong caps and par rates and a competitive premium bonus are hard to come by. But what we're finding is those shorter surrender charge period products are much more appealing to policyholders these days. 10 and 14 years is a long time for an accumulation product, especially if you're looking at younger issue ages. And if it doesn't have an income rider attached, that's a long time to commit to something. So our 5-year and our 7-year have very strong upfront premium bonuses and strong caps and par rates. Our 5-year Teton is a 7% upfront premium bonus. Our 7-year has a 10% premium bonus all the way up to 15% on that 14 and 10-year product. Now, if you're looking to add additional liquidity and you're looking to boost that premium bonus, you can add the Elevation Plus rider on. That's going to boost the premium bonus on that Teton bonus 5-year up to 9%, the 7-year up to 13%, and your 10 and 14-year up to 20% upfront premium bonus, right, at issue. Now, if you're in a replacement situation, maybe that 20% or that 13% on a 7-year can make a lot of sense, right? We want to offset surrender charge. We want to boost the account value at issue. that's something to consider. So 20% premium bonus, very competitive on that Teton and Denali contract, and you add Elevation Plus. Now, how much does that cost to add the Elevation Plus rider on, right? I've caught your attention. We're getting an upfront premium bonus. I'm getting cumulative withdrawals are added in. I'm boosting our free withdrawals up to 10%, and those are beginning policy year 2. To add Elevation Plus onto a Teton or Denali contract, that's a 1% annual spread. It's not a fee. That spread comes off of the positive interest credit earned at your policy anniversary. So, for example, if I get a 5% interest credit, you'll see on an illustration, we'll get 5% interest credit. We're going to deduct 1% for that annual spread, and we're going to credit 4 to your account value. Pretty simple. In a year where there's no interest earned, let's say you have a 0 year, or you're down or negative, there's no annual spread deducted. So your policyholder is not paying for a rider that, you know, they didn't get an account value interest credit. We don't want to deduct off of their account value. Just no annual spread comes off that year. Now, it's important, I want to highlight RMDs. We are truly RMD friendly when it comes to our accumulation products. So if your policyholder needs to take an RMD immediately, we will not penalize the advisor or the policyholder by deducting interest credits or rescinding comp paid to the advisor. That won't happen. RMDs are available immediately if your policyholder is in a qualified contract and they need to access that. The other thing I'll highlight is free withdrawals. Standard free withdrawals on SILAC contracts are 5% beginning policy year 2. So there's no free withdrawal available in year 1. But with the addition of that Elevation Plus rider, we're boosting that free withdrawal from 5% up to 10%. So keep that in mind. Now, next, I want to touch on our income product. We had mentioned Denali had that unique income rider, right? It calculated income off the account value. And then last year we launched Evolve, and Evolve was our stacking income rider. It's got a guaranteed and non-guaranteed component on that roll-up. The roll-up is 6% compounded interest plus positive interest credits earned. Now, when we were looking at this realignment, you know, Denali was originally a principal protection accumulation growth-focused FIA, but it had that built-in income rider. We really wanted to drive that accumulation product story. So we removed the income rider. We pulled Evolve off. We didn't make any changes to it other than boosting premium bonus. We just removed it from Denali and made it a standalone FIA. So now you have the option to choose an accumulation-only product or an income product. So we're super excited to have Evolve as a standalone FIA. It comes in 7, 10, and 14-year surrender periods. And again, that stacking income rider is 6% guaranteed interest plus positive interest credits earned. So I'll use that example if we get a 5% interest credit. There is a 1.5%, I'm going to jump forward just for a second. There's a 1.5% annual spread just built into the Evolve product. So if you get a 5% interest credit, my income rider is getting 6% compounded plus 5%, but my account value is going to get 3.5%. Because it's an annual spread, and we're going to deduct that 1.5% annual spread before we credit the account value. Now, it's just the account value that has that spread applied. Your income rider value doesn't have any spread. It's doing that full 5% interest credit. So I'll jump back here. Premium bonuses. Again, we aligned premium bonuses across our FIAs. So if you pull up our rate sheet, your 7, 10, and 14-year products have this high of a premium bonus. We're looking at 20% premium bonus on your 10 and 14-year surrenders. Now, previously on Vega, as an example, that FIA that has the benefit value tied to it wasn't great for replacement business, right? The bonuses on Vega went to that benefit rider value. We didn't offer an income product at the time that had a bonus to the account value. So for policyholders that were in some stagnant FIAs and really wanted to get into a more competitive product, higher caps and par rates, stronger income, we couldn't support that business because we didn't have a bonus to the account value. Now we do. So Evolve standalone FIA, 7, 10, and 14 years has strong upfront premium bonuses. Your 10 and 14 year will make a lot of sense. We're in an income rider product. We want those higher caps and par rates for income. 20% upfront premium bonus can make a lot of sense, especially if you're in a replacement situation. Now back to this slide. This is still as an FIA, right? It is an accumulation product, of course. It has that stacking income rider, but it still has the features that you would want to see in an accumulation FIA. We still have RMDs available immediately, so you can take RMDs out of your Evolve contract. Free withdrawals are pretty standard 5% beginning policy year 2. There is a mandatory 1-year deferral before you can activate the lifetime income rider. And Evolve does have an ADL feature. That's your wellness withdrawals. So this is applicable by state. But if your policyholder is unable to perform 2 out of 6 activities of daily living, we will double the amount of income that policyholders are receiving for up to 5 years. If they're taking joint income, it's 1.5 times. And again, that annual spread is 1.5%. Same situation with Denali and Teton. If your policyholder earns a 0% interest credit on that anniversary, no spread is deducted. Now, when it comes to your income rider value, you're still getting that 6% compounded interest, even if your account value doesn't earn an interest credit. So income is guaranteed at the very least to increase that 6% compounded each year that you're deferring income. Now, I touched on this briefly. There is a good replacement opportunity with Evolve. So keep that in mind when you have a policyholder that has some of those stagnant older FIAs. Maybe they're in an accumulation product where caps and par rates just aren't as strong, right? We know most insurance companies are new money companies, so we're setting rates at the time that we're issuing that business. So caps and par rates are going to fluctuate year over year. Rates are really good right now, so consider, if you're looking for an income product, consider the Evolve with that 20% premium bonus if you're looking to offset a surrender charge and you have a policyholder that's looking for income. Now, we stacked our premium bonus up against some big competitors. We looked at FGL with their Performance Pro. We looked at Athene, their Ascent Bonus 10, American Equity with their Income Shield. Keep in mind, Evolve is a stacking income rider, so it's got that guaranteed and non-guaranteed component. So we're looking at other riders that operate almost identical or similarly to Evolve. Some of these products have annual fees, right? So even if your policyholder doesn't earn an interest credit, some of these companies are still drafting you an annual spread or an annual fee every year. We're reducing your account value. At SILAC, we're very strong in believing in no annual fees. We like this spread over time. If you do a side-by-side comparison, you will see that, our account value may start off slightly smaller, but we're not deducting your account value every year. And eventually you can see a nice crossover after a few years of deferral. So keep Evolve in mind if you're in a situation, replacement business or not, if you're looking for strong lifetime income. Our illustration software is available, of course, on the agent portal, but you have some unique illustrators out there with Annuities Genius or Annuity Rate Watch, Indexalizer. Some of those can do side-by-side comparisons on income. And in this case, you'd be looking at guaranteed and non-guaranteed income if you're running any side-by-side comparisons. Next, I'd like to touch on a new index that we've just launched. When we made these FIA realignment changes, we also added a new volatility controlled index. Now, there are some advisors out there that I know are sticking their fingers in their ears like, no, we only talk about S&P. I'm not interested in vol control. And believe me, I understand. I'm coming from the insurance company. I get it. Vol control can be difficult to explain. The methodology can be complicated, but there are policyholders out there that see the benefits in the diversification, utilizing a vol control strategy sometimes. There might be a feature of some vol control strategies that are appealing to those policyholders. We all have those customers that read everything that they can get their hands on. They love learning. And maybe those are the individuals that are more interested in a vol control strategy. Now, for advisors that are interested in diversification and we're not interested in volatility control, if you take a look at the SILAC rate sheet, we have 4 different S&P strategies. We have of course, your annual cap. You have a participation rate. We have a monthly average. index. We have another S&P that's another average. So you can consider diversifying across 4 different S&P only strategies, right? If we're looking at the cap and the par rate, we're looking at, what the index did at issue versus what it did on its first anniversary. If you're looking at one of our monthly average strategies, the S&P monthly average, for example, we're more focused on what happened in the middle, right? We're not really thinking point to point. We're looking at the averages of what happened in the middle. So you do have an opportunity to diversify for your policyholders into just straight S&P. So take a look at our rate sheet, see what caps and participation rates look like on the products that you're interested in. And if you have questions about diversification, reach out to Kirk or myself. But in this case, the Bloomberg Versa 10 Index is brought to you, of course, by Bloomberg and our partners at Salt Financial. So if you're familiar with our NASDAQ index, Salt is the group that's bringing the true vol risk control engine to the index. So this is Bloomberg and our Salt Financial guys. And then, of course, Royal Bank of Canada is handling the hedging. So the Bloomberg Versa 10 Index allocates across 4 asset classes. We're looking at U.S. equities, treasuries, gold. So this is a commodities index, and the U.S. dollar. It has a 10% volatility control target, so a bit more exposure to the market. I know many volatility controlled indexes have maybe a 5 or 7% vol control target. This is somewhere in the middle at 10%. But if you're watching the market right now, US gold and dollar are doing very well. So if you have a policyholder that's interested in a commodities index, consider the Versa 10. You can add that on to any new application that you're taking now. If you have policyholders that are coming up for renewal, we'll have the Bloomberg Versa 10 available on those July renewals. I believe the middle of July, so the 13th or the 17th, whatever that Wednesday is. So coming up, it will be available for reallocation. And we will be offering the Bloomberg Versa 10 as an annual participation rate. So it's available on all of our FIAs as an annual par rate. If you have questions about Bloomberg Versa 10, we just hosted our Bloomberg and our NASDAQ folks on Monday, this past Monday, and we'll have that webinar recording available on our agent portal today or tomorrow. I believe marketing is working on condensing that file for us now. So I will definitely share that recording with Kirk, and he can send that out to the field if you guys would like to watch that. That was a lot of information I dumped. I know these are some exciting changes. While the products have been simplified, we've boosted premium bonuses, caps and par rates went up. We made a lot of really exciting adjustments. It can be a lot to take in. So we've launched a microsite that just holds all of the changes and the rate sheets, product training, all of the information for this realignment on our microsite. You can scan the QR code here, or you can enter that URL into your browser and it'll take you right to the microsite. You don't need a password to access it. Just keep in mind, rate sheets are, of course, for agent use only, but you can access all of the customer-friendly brochures. If you're interested in getting contracted or taking product training is where I was going. If you want to take product training for any of these products, we have a summary for those advisors that have taken our Teton, Denali, or Evolve in the past, or you can access the new full product trainings just right there on the bundle site. So as Kirk mentioned, service is very important to SILAC. I come from the IMO space. I've seen some RVPs and some wholesalers do this job horribly. It was my mission in life to do this job very well. And that's why I've tried to build such a good relationship with the New Horizons group. You guys are awesome. Kirk is fantastic. And so with that, we launched our SILAC Inner Circle experience for advisors that are writing 2.5 million of premium or more. That is your qualification threshold. We wanted to come up with a customer service queue for advisors, that are really dedicated to SILAC business. We really want to support you, eliminate some of those wait times, support your office staff. You have individuals in the office that are helping you get case status and get business placed. We wanted you to have a place to go, that you were getting a higher level of service, sort of move you out of the general population queue. And with that is the Inner Circle program. So you get a dedicated service manager, top of the phone queue. I think our phone hold times into the inner circle group are 30 seconds or less right now. And about 10 seconds of that is just the welcome. Kylie Gormley, our VP of operations, you're listening to her voice welcome you. Dedicated toll-free number. So anytime you call into SILAC, you're routed right to the inner circle team. And this group can process post-issue requests, pending business, your applications. We can answer commissions, or agency-related questions, so contracting, all of that serviced just by one group. Now, with that comes an additional bonus for advisors, right? The threshold is 2.5 million of in-force premium. It's retroactive back to $1, and you're automatically enrolled. So you'll get a call from our inner circle team congratulating you. You'll probably hear from me. I'll call and say thank you, introduce myself, make sure you have my contact information. And at the end of the year, depending on your issued premium by December 31st, you'll qualify for an additional commission bonus. 2.5 million to 5 is at 50 bips, all the way up to 10 million or more of in-force premium is additional 2% of additional commission bonus. Now, with that additional 10 million, if you're one of those advisors that's writing 10 million or more of premium with SILAC, we're enrolling you into our Ember program. Ember is getting you all of the same service highlights as Inner Circle, but you're now considered part of our advisory board. So these realignment changes that we made with Teton, Denali, Evolve, our Elevation Plus writers, this was all feedback and brainstorming that we took from our Ember group. These are top advisors in the field, and they have a relationship now with SILAC leadership. Carrie Freeberg, our head product developer, our actuarial individual. We're taking feedback from our advisors, what they're seeing in the field, what they're hearing, what their policyholders want, maybe product that they can't find anywhere else. We're building that and implementing it into our product portfolio. So your feedback and your opinions and product that you desire is very important to us. And that's how we developed this Ember group. So quarterly brainstorming meetings, SILAC partnered client events. We want to partner with our top advisors. We want to participate in marketing for you and attending events so we can really help get the word out there. So if you're interested in this, Inner Circle or Ember, I do have flyers available on the agent portal, or I'd be happy to email those out to you. Last but not least, that same group of advisors, if you've hit that 2.5 million of premium, you're well on your way. Our 2026 Players Circle trip this coming year is Portugal and Spain. And qualifications for this special trip are 5 million of in-force premium, and then we'll take the top 60 advisors. Now, qualification does depend on the type of business that you're writing. So all of your FIA business counts 100% towards your qualification. MIGA business counts towards 50%. I didn't talk about MIGAs today, and that's because rates are not competitive on our MIGA. MIGAs are very capital intensive products, and we really put the juice into our FIAs, bonuses, liquidity riders, things of that nature. But if you're writing MIGA, keep that in mind. It counts towards 50% of your qualification. So everyone, that really takes up my 30 minutes, but I want to thank you so much for joining me. Kirk, I'm going to ping you. Are there any questions, or did I pique any interest, anything I should address while I have you?
Yeah, I think there's one question on there from Rich, and it says, Denali interest recovery at death, ?
Denali interest recovery at death. So no, there is no interest recovery at death. Your full account value is paid to your beneficiaries. That includes the premium bonus. So we're not doing any interest or bonus recapture at death.
Great.
Full account value to your beneficiaries on Teton and Denali.
Okay.
Good question.
I don't see any other questions, and I want to be conscious of everyone's time here, but I want to thank everyone for coming, but especially want to thank you, Molly, for taking time out of your busy day to help us. And everybody that's on this webinar, we have different levels. I see everyone that's on there, different levels of writing this product or an FIA product in general. Please don't hesitate to call me to help with case design, or, hey, Kirk, I got this. I've never really written an FIA, or, I've been writing for XYZ company. How do you feel like this compares? We can talk it out, and we will always, corny as it sounds, we will always do what's best for your client and make sure that we're helping them because they worked hard for their money. We want to protect it, grow it if we can, and help them in their distribution of their funds in retirement. So I don't have anything else, Molly, unless you want to recap anything. And
No, I think that takes care of it. If you guys have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to Kirk and he'll loop me in. I can get anything put together for you. If it's app kits, illustrations, or explanations, just let us know.
fantastic. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Molly. And we appreciate
Thanks,
your
Kirk.
time. Take care.